What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Dave. Welcome to the Pusher Pash podcast, the first of 2019 in this new era of Guild Ball. I am, as always, Dave. To my left.
I'm Jesse.
To my right.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And this is the podcast for February, all last 36 hours of it or so. We're sneaking it in there, but we've got some information that we've been piling up because, well, there wasn't a lot of information back in January for reals. And now we have some more. So a couple things we're going to go over today. We've got some new information about the Miners Guild because they're going to be coming out pretty soon. And due to photography, we can talk about all the cards, which is going to be pretty cool. Our good buddy Chris went down to the Bourbon Trail Open and got super drunk and played a bunch of games.
It was a lot of fun.
Other than that, we're going to just delve right on into it. I've been playing a little more so now than I was in January, getting some more games in and trying to figure out, this crazy world of Season 4 again, right in time for errata. And so that's going to be fun come Friday when we find out exactly who's going to be nerfed and or buffed and or whatever. So we need to see what's going on with that. So
it'll be interesting to see a whole new, season 4.5, more or less. I think they're calling it 4.1. Whatever it's called, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be something for it. I mean, they've taken a couple of cards off of their print service, so they're going to be attempting to give us some new guys, which is fine because they didn't put the Miners cards in the actual boxes.
Oh yeah, they're no longer distributing cards with releases. Although the the event kit does have cards, so we do know what everything does, and we'll talk about that later on.
Thank you, Guild Ball Manager and photography. Other than that, I've been playing a couple of games. I got some more games in my Hunters. Because I've been playing them because they're good, and I'm afraid I'm about to get my guy's legs broken in about 3 days.
They're gonna die.
I mean, it's already died once technically in the fluff. It was shitty, and now it's good, but it could be good, could be less good, and I have no idea what they're gonna. I really don't like the speculation game.
Yeah.
In the general sense of I'm going to talk about this on a podcast because I'll speculate all day with conspiracy theories and fantasy booking for whatever, but it doesn't do us any good when they're going to be out in 2 days anyways and nobody cares to hear that part.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. I mean, we could make suggestions, but it's too late for that. Horse is already out the gates.
Yeah,
things are changing. We don't know what. I'm sure it'll be a more rounded and interesting game when it's done. Let's hope that nothing is immediately standing out front oh, we nerfed these 3 things and now something is just king of the hill entirely. I think they're probably doing a good job of avoiding that, but like we said, we're not going to speculate. There's more interesting things to talk about until the errata happens.
Right. There are a couple of guys that we can guess that are going to be errated because they've been removed from the print on demand service, but we'll talk about that when the actual errata does happen. We don't have any of that information. We don't have any of that stuff in any way, shape, or form. So, unfortunately, moving right along with that, Chris, you're a cool guy and went to Kentucky this weekend.
I had a good time in Kentucky.
How was the Bourbon Trail Open? And give us all the spiel.
Sure. I have to say, Antonio Mendez did a great job of organizing that event. The venue was fun. The venue was super clean. Antonio provided a lot of chili. We had chili and corn chips and cornbread included in our fee. Whiskey was $4 per drink, which was great.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I don't know if they distill it there or what. I know that process takes years. But no matter whether it was their 2-year aged or 8-year aged, it was $4, and it was just very tasty. I didn't intend to get drunk. I did. Come round 4, round 5, my opponent and I were just both we're both stumbling over ourselves trying to play the game.
Rolling some dice,
having some fun. overall, my record this week was not good. I think I finished with 2-4, but I did learn a lot of stuff as I was playing. I had some great matches. Round 2, I played against world champion Alex Botts, or former world champion Alex Botts. Had a very fun game with him. We've pushed back and forth a lot, learned a lot about my strategy. He was playing as Butchers, I was playing Pin Vice into Ox. I chased the ball around. Alex did a great job defending the ball. I had to kick off at the beginning of the game, which makes it even more difficult. But I managed to get around Tenderizer and kick some tap-ins here and there because turns out dodges are just good. Turns out you can just bounce off people. It would have been even better if I remembered my players if I remember the influence cap on some of my players, because in, I think, our 4th game round, I gave Compound 3 when I wanted to give Compound 4, because Compound had some work to get done. Compound was going to push somebody out of the way, charge a ball carrier, and kick it off to the side, but giving Compound only 3, not enough resources to get the job done.
Can't exactly do that.
Right. And I thought Compound was printed as a 2-3, and then I looked at the card, I was like, God damn it, it's a 2-4. So
that's a Colossus, not a Compound.
Yep. I had some other great games. I played against a Mortician's player from West Virginia. He played Scalpel. I killed Scalpel twice before she activated. It was great. Midnight Offering still disgusting because even though I'm killing Scalpel before she activates with Pin Vice is good at that, can do it for no momentum, but even though Pin Vice was killing Scalpel before Scalpel activated, on the turns where Scalpel was safe, Midnight Offering kept her relevant. Like, you're looking at Scalpel jogging 21 inches back into the match when yeah, I know, 7-inch jog, 7-inch Midnight Offering, 7-inch actual activation. It's like she can be anywhere every turn, so she's always relevant.
She's not out of the game on that turn she comes back.
Right. And, you know, even if I kill her with a full stack, which I did turn 1, Pin Vice doesn't really get momentum while killing, so you give up a big tempo swing when that happens. But let's see here, other rounds that were interesting. I played into an Alchemist player, and I found that engineers do put the Alchemist player at what seemed like a big disadvantage to the Alchemist player, because Ratchet can just keep things clean so long as I'm keeping whatever my key models are free of conditions prior to Smoke activating. Smoke can't kill the person she's trying to kill, because she needs to spend resources to set them on fire, catch them poison, whatever. So that was kind of just a mini game of keep my players clean so long as Smoke has an influence stack on her. A big swing in that game happened when I got a ring out on Original Catalyst, because I said, why punch your way through 29 hit points when you can just shove him off the board? So
he lives a long time.
Yeah, and my poor opponent never saw it coming. It was when Ballista swings at Catalyst, who's within 6 inches of the board edge, and the opponent declares counterattack. I just grin, because I know all I need is 2 hits to do a double push. So double push, advance, double push again off the board. For style points, Deadbolt off the board, but I didn't do that today. Ballista was able to shove Catalyst off the board and Deadbolt Flask to death, which was also great. So that was like a multi-activation swing turn. I was able to get up to the point that at the end of that round I had 3 models activate in a row for my second goal to win the game. So that was a lot of fun. Other matches I had, my very last one, I did not play well into blacksmiths. I normally like my odds in that matchup, but I did not do well. I played ballista, and kudos to my opponent for having a tight strategy. He put all of his players in like a man train, so if I deadbolt the front one, it doesn't go anywhere. It just gets knocked down. It can't push it anywhere. So that was a great play by that player, and I just let... I got a little sloppy with minding that player's threat ranges on Veteran Cinder and Sledge, and I just couldn't quite keep up once they had very good turns. But overall, it was a blast. Stayed at an Airbnb that was great. Found a Korean buffet, which wasn't the tastiest Korean food I've had, but it was the best variety for $8 dinner on a Friday night that I've encountered in Korean food. Like, ideally, you go to a restaurant, a nice Korean restaurant with like 5 or 6 friends, so you can just cover the table in things and go to town. But for just having myself and my compatriot there, it was a nice dinner. So anyhow, it was a very good time. Kudos again to Antonio Mendez for putting it on. Alex Botts won the event, took home the bottle of whiskey. I'm sure he's enjoying it now, or at some point in time. But it was a good time.
Cool. Good for him. He gets to continue to be on the throne of Guild Ball.
He's good. The guy practices.
I've heard things.
Yeah.
I've heard things. So, what did you learn about your engineers that you did not know beforehand?
So, I learned that Veteran Velocity does more than I thought she did.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she had more pushes and fewer dodges for controlling a scrum, but on turns that I played cards like kick 'em while they're down, she turned into like a build your own Season 3 Spigot, because she was killing people with 3 punches. She was of great use in the match I had with the Blacksmiths player, because I was able to push dodge an apprentice outside of the captain's Sentinel aura, and then knock it down with a punch from Velocity, and then the top of next turn with that card played, she wrapped to like a non-momentous 4 and a non-momentous 2, and then did it again and again, and it was just dead Sledge. Which is work that I wasn't expecting out of Veteran Velocity. It maintains the issue that if you're doing damage with engineers, you're probably slipping in tempo. So you really need to focus on models that are having influence on them or haven't activated yet in general. Because if you don't, you're going to feel like you're winning, but actually you're going to be losing. So that was the biggest thing I learned out of that. That was the biggest thing I learned out of that match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time. It wasn't too bad of a trip down there. Weather was pretty good that weekend, so you didn't have a lot of problems. When the late February could still be blizzard season around here. So.
Can be, but it was nice and clear to get there and back.
Awesome. Cool. Well, that's the Bourbon Trail Open. Let's see, next on our wonderful list of points to hit, we've got a couple of new captains that are coming out.
Yeah, these were a surprise to everyone.
I don't think
Nobody
anybody
saw these
knew
coming.
about them.
Nope.
Not at all.
No, I didn't know anything about them. They were just like, hey, new captains. I'm like, what? And then they're like, hey, there's a veteran boar. Wait, what? And a guy with crane people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Or, you know, crazy Japanese man with
Something
the thing
like
on his
that.
shoulders and the big hat. And I'm just like, what is all this going on? And they're just like, we're getting all new captains. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Who's getting them first? One guild I play. Fantastic.
I'm sure all the other guilds will get them eventually.
No, I'm
like
sure.
they're it's like free money for them to make a new captain. Everybody's going to buy a new captain. So they're going to make them for everyone. It's just a matter of time.
How do you feel about some teams getting brand new people and some teams getting veteran captains.
It's fine. There's no. I don't think there's very many auto includes in the game, and the ones that have yet to become veterans. We'll see though.
Okay. I mean, the big thing people were complaining about is, okay, well, we got a new captain, but it's veteran Boar, who, you know, a lot of people's biggest complaint with veteran models is that veteran models' best friends are their younger selves, and you're then actually not gaining a model. You're just
right.
You're kind of just side grading or upgrading half.
I understand what you mean. That's come up on occasion.
Especially with let's say butchers, Ox and Vet Ox would really like to play together, but this is not the Clone Wars.
They would like to play together, but it's okay because there's other models that fill those roles, which is mostly just a model with 2-inch melee and pushes, which would be Veteran Gutter. Shank doesn't push, but Shank has the 2-inch melee. Those get done what Veteran Ox would do with regular Ox, so maybe that would be a fun format where it's just completely unconstrained. I've heard of people trying formats where you can only play players currently on their teams that are alive.
Oh, wow.
Which would be
I don't even know who that is anymore.
Yeah, it'd be hard to keep up with, but maybe there would be another just absurd format where it's like, play whatever you want on that squad. Just go for it.
There's a lot of dead people right now.
Yep.
There are. Steamforge has been killing everybody. So, I think it's...
Especially with the friggin' Union. Like, they're really screwed. Half their players are dead.
Yeah. And there really are so many new models coming out between now and March 15th that who knows what the meta is going to do. Like, between the erratas, the new captains, and the 2 new guilds. Like, the captains in the 2 new guilds is like 20 new models. 16 new models. And then, on top of that, you've got the changes to whatever models are getting changed.
Yeah.
So, you're getting probably around 25 new-ish players, or 16 completely new players and 3 to 7 new-ish players based on how models change. So the meta is going to shake up so much. There's just no way to predict it.
Yeah, the new captains are definitely going to change the way some people play. We don't just looking back at like the last one people got some snapshots on during some of these reveals.
So Steamforge has been doing teaser videos.
Yeah.
Which,
They're both cool and lame. They're cool. I appreciate like their appeal to social media spreading their game. What's lame is they're diagonal. The depth of field is so shallow that the card's half in focus and half out of focus at a time. So if you really want to read it, it's like you got to pause the video and advance it a few seconds, pause it again.
Yeah. I actually did that before coming over here, and then I forgot a notebook at home. So I had notes. I got the notes.
It's a super cool thing, just not quite what I like, but it's still super cool.
I remember that Vet Boar has
he has some
Furious
and Berserk, which is
free charge. And
which are both things he's got right now.
Which is something that he already has, but he's also got an ability which is in full view called Bloodlust, which for people who don't know what it is, it's a 6-inch aura that says once per turn another friendly model starts its activation within, the friendly model may spend 1 influence to gain Berserk for the remainder of the turn.
Yep.
Which is good.
Yeah, pretty good.
If you're going in on a guy who cannot respond to you, and you've got a stack of 4, you essentially then have a stack of 6.
Yeah. And
especially in butchers where they're not doing non-damage to you.
Yeah. So we really don't know everything about him, but we can tell some cool things.
He's got singled out and stagger.
Yeah, he's kind of scatterbrained with those. But we don't know what his damage profile looks like. Maybe
we know what his old one was.
Well, of course, but that doesn't exactly tell us what he's going to do. Furthermore, if he's got Berserk, those abilities don't do damage.
So
unless he's got combined results,
he might have 3. He might have like a 3 with a guild ball result.
He might have, yeah. So we don't know what the playbook is. That's really going to be telling on it.
If he's got singled out with a damage result, just have a good night.
like one damage singled out or something like that.
If it's anywhere within like the first 3. Which I'm assuming it's still going to be, but it's still silly.
We've got no clue. The real question will be how much can Boar hold?
That's a big question because Thresher can only hold 5.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty chop captain.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect Boar to hold more than 5 because otherwise he's doing 10 attacks.
Well, that's
which is
to 12 because of Furious.
So he will actually have a small stack because of he charges for free.
I mean, he might be like he might literally be a 4/4.
I could even imagine a 4/2, 4/3.
A 4/2?
Possible.
Have a tiny butt end?
Yeah.
So
because the other 2 have to go to the other members of the team.
Because 4/2 is still potentially 6 attacks. Because you've got charge, berserk, buy, berserk, buy, berserk.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could be as low as 4/2. He might even be like a 2/2. It might be the first captain to bring 2. I don't know. It's another one of those things.
We do know from what his playbook shows, he's got a momentous 2 on 2, a non-momentous knockdown on 3, and a momentous something on 4.
Oh, let me see.
From what I can see on his card there.
Momentous 2 on 2, always good. Momentous.
You would think it would start ramping faster for Boar.
The playbook is the balancing factor on a model
unless
like
he's
that.
tax 9 or something with 8 columns.
It's hard to say, but it's...
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. It's friggin' Boar on steroids.
We'll see what they do. Like,
I mean, the other thing we haven't mentioned yet is his legendary.
Chop.
Yep.
It doesn't... all I see is while within... And that's
it grants Furious.
Does it grant Furious?
It grants Furious to every model within 6 inches.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm
so
not.
they can have Furious and Berserk. Steamforge, what are you doing?
One of them can have Berserk.
Steamforge, what are you doing?
We don't know. There's a lot of things about it.
I mean, that's why I'm thinking they're going to short cap his influence.
I mean, it could very well.
Also, it's really awkward to use because if he uses his legendary and then charges off, nobody else gets it because it's an aura. So it's going to be one of those things where you're tripping over yourself to make it work maximally.
I mean, you're probably not using it turn 1. You're probably using it on turn 2, and you're just going to town and wrecking face. Like, again, you're looking at this going, okay, Ox is pretty good, and he beats the shit out of people. Fille's really good, and still murders people, but does kind of the goalie keeper thing where she's trying to score the ball. But Veteran Boar looks like he just wants to murder people and doesn't care.
So, think of it this way. Ox buffs everyone's damage with, like, static damage increase or removing armor. Boar seems to buff everyone's damage by upping their influence efficiency. So...
because that's what we needed.
Well, here's the thing. Is butchers always kill. That's what they're supposed to do. It's to what extent can they do the rest of the game, and to what extent can they prevent you from scoring? Because if they damage a little too little, they just get dunked on by anybody who can grab a ball and jam. So it is interplay that we're going to see as the cooks come out that we've seen. It's going to turn Filet into more of a super solo. So we don't know who's going to go in a 6 or in your 6 or in your 12 or in your 8 or whatever your tournament format. We don't really know. We just know they're going to have options. And I bet you for the next few months we're going to see loads of Boar because it's just a popular character and people like playing new stuff.
And he looks like he's going to murder the shit out of you.
He does.
Because he might just say, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Because, again, I'm just saying, if he's got singled out and a damage result as a thing, I'm just saying that's pretty good.
Well, they're definitely exploring new design space with him, and in terms of how to help the team out. It seems to be more about enabling squatties and less about doing it himself. Well, until we see the playbook. It could be anything.
If he's granting Berserk to somebody for a turn and he's singling somebody out, even the toughest models to kill are gonna go down.
Yeah.
This model to me says, you remember how you used to have trouble with some of those bigger tough hide guys? Ballista melts now. Just absolutely melts.
But Ballista's like measure twice, cut once. You won't engage Ballista with Boar if you don't want to let him be engaged. Like regular Boar doesn't touch Ballista. I expect veteran Boar won't touch Ballista because there's terrain on the board. Like there's terrain on the board and you've got a 8-inch deadbolt.
Sure. I'm just saying for like tough hide models.
Yeah. Oh, like, yeah,
you're going to chew through a tough hide model because you're going to be wrapping enough and just beating the shit out of people. Like, it's no longer a problem of, I can't kill 2 of these guys. Yeah. Now I can probably kill these guys.
Yeah. So, in terms of design space, some of the more interesting stuff we've seen is on Morn. I think that model does...
I didn't get a chance to look at that one. I really wish I'd had.
So Morn has the goofiest support abilities that seem super strong. Mm-hmm. We don't know what Morn herself will do, but Morn has some support abilities that turn a lot of the popular game mechanics on their head, a lot of the popular tactica on their head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, she has an ability where, say, one of her friendly models was going to get killed, okay? Mm-hmm. Instead of that model dying and being removed from the pitch, Morn can just choose to have that model be taken to its recovery level and the opponent gain 2 points.
Yeah.
That seems pretty strong still.
Right. So think about all those times where you're like, you know, I have a full stack on this model. It needs to go, but the opponent gets to go first, and they're going to delete that model. Morn's like, nah, that model's still there. Like, the opponent will get the 2 victory points, but they won't get the giant swing of that model's gone. You won't lose your activation. You won't be behind activation advantage. You won't lose all that influence on the stack. Mm-hmm. So it looked like she did that. What were her other goofy abilities?
She's got Rising Anger.
Oh, yeah. Rising Anger. Punching a child.
She has an ability that gives one of her friendlies empathy.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Is that only one influence to buy?
I think so.
So empathy is a model... empathy is enemy models don't get momentum when they use playbook results that do damage to a model. It's what's on Windle.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, I mean, given that I play engineers, I don't care because my damage isn't momentous. But other people who need that momentous damage, gonna be sadly sad on that one. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so she had Rising Anger, those awesome things. What else did she have, Jesse?
Let me pull up the video and I'll take a look through it.
Oh, okay, we had some notes here, folks. And,
I had notes and I forgot at home. So
well, whose fault? Your butt's fault is whose fault it is.
This is great podcasting right now.
I mean, if those other guys can swear and curse, we can talk about butts.
It wasn't the butts; it's the delays.
I mean, it's fine. We're doing it live.
We can attempt to edit out the lull.
So she has Malice for the target friendly model, gains +2 attack.
That's right.
Hollowed is the one that gives empathy, is only 1 influence, and she also has quick time.
Okay. Quick time is good. The 2-inch dodge.
Yes, 2-inch dodge.
2-inch dodge. So she's
super supporty.
Yeah, she's super supporty. I don't expect her to do anything herself, but we'll see.
She really, I mean, all of her stuff is all about supporting the other models. She has a Grave Candle ability that lets people come back from the dead. She has
that's right. Once per turn, she gives Reanimate.
Yeah. Faded, once per turn, when another friendly model within this aura makes an attack kick or uses a character play, the friendly model may re-roll any number of dice.
Okay.
That's pretty good, too.
Like a free confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's also pretty good.
So I really like her as another take on the Morticians. Like, because she's got a lot of abilities that are very Obulus flavored, but then also other extra support stuff. So I'm betting she's going to be like an Obulus that doesn't do it all herself. Because Obulus, as I said, does it all himself. He's got tools for everything. I bet she's just there to take all your squatties and crank them up to 11 and make them never die. So, pretty interesting.
It does seem that way.
Yeah. I mean, the question is, though, depending on what happens with Scalpel, you know, is she going to get nerfed? Is she going to not get nerfed? Chances are she's going to get nerfed.
Chances are some things will change with the
But this is going to be a
Morticians.
third captain for the Morticians.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take 3 captains in your lineup? That's a lot of space to chew up.
Time will only tell.
Because I'm assuming with your lineup, you can still take a third captain. There's no restriction on captain numbers.
It used to be up to 2 captains. Now I don't know. And you know what? By all means, the OPD could change.
Yeah.
Sure.
As the new captains come out. It's a detail I'm not clear on right now. That's fine. We don't need that. It's just see what happens with them.
But that's the real question. Okay, so we've got Scalpel, Obulus, and Morn.
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking, you know, your group of men, do you take all 3 captains? Do you take them and have a list for each one? I mean, would you want to take 3 captains in your group of men?
Depends on what that third captain is.
Yeah. Depends if he has any good plays.
I'm not. It's just one of those things where you're already. I mean, you're not super strapped. Like nowadays, you aren't super strapped because you can bring so many people in your list.
Yeah.
But as you keep bringing more and more guys into the team, eventually you are going to start having to make some actual cuts.
Sacrifices will be made.
Is a third captain worth taking, or is there just gonna, or is, even though she supports people and she does pretty well, would she still override Obulus? Would she still take that slot away?
To be seen, right? It's so hard to tell what to do with models when we haven't seen their most key things, being their speed, their playbook, tack.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the things that really tell you how the models interact with other models.
She does have she is holding a rat.
Is holding a rat.
What is that going to mean? Foreshadowing.
So it's funny, other people pointed out that I think it really only means that they're reusing little bits and pieces in their 3D sculpting programs. Lots of miniature games companies do it. Like if I have a good something on one model, I might reuse it in a different place on another model.
Cuts down cost.
Yep.
Also cuts down 3D sculpting.
Yep. Yeah.
So, because speaking of sculpting, these models are going to be resin. They are not single piece. I've seen some people that have gotten them already, and they seem to not have too many bad mold lines from everything. Hopefully they won't be too much of a bitch to put together.
Yeah, from what I can tell, Steamforge resin, the mold lines are not bad. Not like the PVC. The PVC, the mold lines could be a little nasty. Also, on some of the PVC models, there were things that just weren't sculpted that I didn't care for. Like Grange's back is just a flat piece of plastic.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the detail? So we've got that to look forward to in terms of the resin models. Hopefully they're not too difficult to assemble.
They aren't that expensive either. It doesn't look like they're going to be too bad for single guys. Probably like $15 to order.
2 meals at Chipotle. So that's my economy. I measure everything in Chipotle meals.
And I've actually never seen you eat Chipotle.
It happens on occasion.
I've never seen you ask to go to Chipotle or ever eat Chipotle, which is hilarious.
It's kind of a convenience food, not an excitement food.
Well, today is also the first time I've ever heard you say that you got McDonald's.
No, I was very dang hungry in between places, but I think the last time I ate there was about a year ago. No big deal. It's just I like going to local places. You know, you get a lot of mom and pop flavor.
So
yeah, so that's
So the only bad thing about these new models is, there's shipping problems. Some people are delayed. Steeljaw's delayed.
Steeljaw's delayed, although people started getting their shipping notices today, so she wasn't delayed by much.
No, which is
she was
good.
Delayed.
However, we're still not getting the cooks until after everything else, because as we record this podcast, the miners are sitting at our store.
Yep.
And the cooks are not.
Right.
And the cooks are supposed to come out in 2018.
Yeah.
And it is not that year anymore.
Yeah.
And, whoops.
What can be said? The company had a bit of trouble with its distribution, and its shipping happens. The Navigators had multiple ill-fated issues. The company in general was kind of stumbling for a bit in terms of getting the stuff out there. I won't hate on them for it, because nobody knows they need to fix it more than themselves, because when they're not moving models, they're not making money, and that's a problem.
It's not their fault boats and ports don't work sometimes.
Yeah. Well, they can find, ways around it, being now releasing stuff in resin that's not made in China and shipped over. That's made closer to where they are, so it's easier for them to do. And I will say the resin sculpts look beautiful. It's certainly not as convenient as the PVC stuff, but it looks fun.
No, it looks fine, especially with them being one model. You're not putting together a sprue of 20 guys. So it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, from what it looks like, the pieces are only like 2 or 3, so it can't be that bad.
Right.
I mean, it can't be that hard to file down, score a little bit, and put some glue on there.
They'll be great.
It should be fine.
You don't even need to score resin. Just wash it. Just physically wash it, or else the glue might. Although scoring could be a good substitute, it's just give it a little rinse.
I usually do both.
Okay. So long as you wash it, you'll be fine. Metal, you would need to score sometimes because it's heavy. The resin is not heavy.
No.
So you'd be good.
So the new captains are coming out. That's cool. We'll see when they get here. Hopefully Steeljaw won't take too long, because I want to see what she does. Theoretically, it looks like she's going to beat people in the face, which is the thing that none of our captains directly do right now.
No,
the hunters. Don't. Everyone's like, well, Theron beats people up. Not really.
Oh,
he really doesn't. He can, but he doesn't.
Theron messes people up. He's just more of a support captain.
Yeah.
And Skatha jams goals with a little bit of support. So if they want to fill out like the triangle in terms of things, you could have the I just walk up and kill you with these sharp things. Maybe that's what Steeljaw will do.
Here's open.
We don't know.
Spoiler, I think she's going to use traps.
Spoiler,
I bet she's going to use traps.
I bet she uses the snared condition. Whether or not she puts out traps is can you predict it based on the fact that she doesn't come with trap models?
Oh yeah, you're right. She doesn't come with trap markers.
But if you're playing hunters, you have
probably already have enough. 5 of them
already.
You probably have enough.
Maybe she does something with the pitfall marker.
The old J-Car.
Maybe she's J-Car's ex-wife and she's come to pitfall him.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. It won't happen, but it would be amazing.
Here's my pie-in-the-sky dream of what she does. You know how Mercury has the 2-inch fire aura? Mm-hmm. That, but for snare. That's my pie-in-the-sky.
No.
That's my pie-in-the-sky, what do I really want her to do? Is just be if you get within 2 inches of her, you just have snare.
That's interesting in that it would be awkward, because that would be a weird, rough ground situation where, you'd get snared and immediately stop.
That happens with Mercury already.
Yeah, it's really weird that would happen. But I'd be okay with it. As a Hunters player, I'm okay with it. As a non-Hunters player, I'm sure everyone's like, no, fuck that noise. But I would be okay with it.
I'm sitting here thinking it would be interesting. That's kind of my, ooh, wouldn't that be cool? But who knows what the hell she actually does.
Right.
I think we're going to get a preview for her tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then...
God, I hope so.
And then eventually we'll get full stats on all these schmucks.
It should be Friday, right?
I think that's when they're released, so that's when we should get full stats.
The Guild Ball Manager will go up.
Technically, they are available from the 1st of March. So...
Yeah, so we'll all wake up on Friday, and everyone will be like, "Oh my God, look at all the things!"
So
The everything is broke.
Check out the virtual cards.
Yeah. While we're on it, there's something that is coming out Friday, and we do know all the cards.
We do know all the cards because everybody was complaining about people posting cards and nobody would, but guess what? We just went to the store and took photos of them.
Guess what? We know what the miners do because
They're
the
all-
tournament kits are out with cool cards in them.
They are.
The boxed miners kit does not come with cards. The tournament kit comes with cards. So that
Go
one
figure.
just makes me scratch my head. It's like, well, if you're going to make them to put in the release kit, make them to put in the regular box too. But I do get their... well, it makes sense in context of they don't want people opening it up and being like, oh, these cards are outdated. I need to replace the cards. They'd rather just have the people not have cards at all and pick them up later. So fine. That's doesn't really hinder my enjoyment of these things.
But we do have all the cards. So right now, Spade, the Mole, and
Spade, the Mole, and Fuse
are already out. We
have
were
been
missing.
shown on
We were
the
missing
blog.
Shaft, Fissure, and Mule.
Yep.
And we do have Shaft, Fissure, and Mule right now. I'm looking at it because you took a picture of it.
Yep. These models are gloriously goofy. I love everything about how they work.
I looked at them and I went, man, these are one of those teams that's like, if you can remember everything they do in the correct order, then you win some games. But if you don't remember all the things at the right time, you ain't gonna win some games. I posted a picture of original when the Alchemist got spoiled and I got all their cards. I posted one of my favorite pictures, which is Charlie Day trying to draw the lines.
The conspiracy.
The conspiracy Charlie Day. And I'm trying to figure out order of activation. And I'm looking at these guys going, oh God, repost the memes. Because, wow, these guys can... They are deceptively fast.
Yeah, miners go forever in a day. And I sat down before we recorded here to just jot down the speeds because, you know, like
But Chris, they're all slow. They're just 4.6s.
They're all 3.5 or 4.6.
They're all slow. They're not fast, and they won't do anything.
And ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, we're not, of course, speaking about Salvo and Colossus, who are super fast. We're talking about the printed miners, who are all 3.6s and 4.5s, except they all get a 2-inch place at the beginning of their turn.
That is their guild rule.
And most of them can buy a placement later in the turn. In fact, only one of them cannot buy a placement later in the turn. That's the Mule. But everybody else can.
Is a robot.
Yeah, Mule is a robot. I think we should probably start... Let's start with the captain.
Let's start with the captain. He's the guy. He's the guy that makes things work.
Yep. So Shaft, hey, he's got the best stat in the game, that 2-inch melee zone. They gave him a playbook that looks suspiciously engineers. There's momentum on pretty much every level, and it's usually involving a push. He's on his first column. He's got his most useful result, which is a momentous tackle push.
Just to interject, we are going to post these pictures when we put up the post, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So for all the people that don't know what we're doing, go ahead and if you're looking at our thing on Facebook, you will find the photos that we took so you can follow along with these models. We're not going to read everything off to you.
No.
Go look at them, and everyone who was complaining that nobody posted them, we'll post them in like an hour and a half. You're welcome.
Yep. Here comes the candy.
Go feed yourself, baby birds.
Yep.
So continue, Chris.
Yeah. So tack 6 is very likely to get your first column, and with it being a tackle push, Shaft is often going to be immune from counterattacks because he can engage somebody at 2 inches, momentous tackle push. Even if they were a 2-inch model, he can push them 1 inch out. So I guess stoic 2-inch models, which is Colossus.
Which plays for them.
Which plays for them. So Colossus could get a legitimate counterattack on him, but not many people could. He doesn't do a lot of damage. There's a 3 in there. There's a momentous 2 double push all the way at the top of his playbook.
I do have to say I actually really hate that. I would have just make that a 3 or even a 4 just in case.
Oh.
Like that part of the playbook is so trivial as it is. Why make it garbage? Just make it better. Just make it a 3 or a 4. Like, why degrade the damage like that?
A 2 double push is a great result. It's just we're spoiled with having it on Ballista on a 3 rather than on Shaft on a 6. So, other interesting things on his playbook. There's a knockdown on 3. There's a Guild Ball on 2 for weak point to peel off armor. Or a trophy, Guild Ball trophy on
4
for those special character plays, and that character play is pretty sweet. He gets to choose choose one of 2, and either other models within 4 inches of that target enemy model suffer a 2-inch push directly towards that enemy model, or directly away from that enemy model.
So it's a magnet.
Yeah, it's that's a good point. Oh, that's why they called it Lodestone.
Right?
We're geniuses. It's amazing.
Right? We're super smart. It's like you're a scientist or something.
It's almost like we read this ahead of time, but we didn't.
But we totally didn't.
No.
But for the good thing is that it's a range 8 character play, which can be triggered either off the playbook or by paying 2.
Yep.
So at an 8-inch range, you can either scrum everybody together for, I would like to drop a template on you, or if something's clustered up where a bunch of stuff's overlapping, you go, everybody get out of here.
Yep.
Of course, in this guild, the templates just move people again.
Yeah.
So let me push you all together so I can drop another template and place you all within an inch.
Right. Move this party over 4 inches, please.
So that's a good point about, he can suffer that 2-inch push.
It does say other models.
Yeah.
So it does. So he can't. He can't make himself move that.
Yeah. Other models within 4 inches.
Is he within 4?
Oh, gosh.
Other. It's not
Oh,
him.
gosh. Here we are with the English language being ambiguous. Other models within...
Other models are
I'm
not
gonna say,
him.
Since you target the enemy character,
Yeah.
he is another model.
Yeah. So I would say
no.
that models other than his target.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so it could be him.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks,
so we'll have
Englishman.
to... Yeah.
Oh, that makes... And it's not even enemy models. It's just other. So,
So
it's
you
just a giant pile of garbage happening.
Yeah, so you can be sucking your buddies in there.
Well, look at it this way. If you
phrasing.
you are in the middle of a butcher scrum...
Get out!
Exactly.
Yeah. The miners have more than one way to disassemble a scrum, and that's pretty cool. So Shaft, while only being a 4-6 speed, is actually more like a 7-9 with his beginning of turn placement. On the back of his card, he's got a legendary that lets him place all friendlies within 6 inches of Shaft get to be placed within 2 inches of their current location. So it's like Diggy Hole except for the whole team.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so with his regular speed is a 4-6, with his placement he's like a 7-9, and with his legendary is more like a 10-12 in terms of speed. So you've got a 2-inch model with 10-12 speed, a 3-8 kick. He's got tough hide like that. I don't know. If he's getting punched on, it's bad.
Well, I mean, he kind of does everything for the team.
Yep.
So, people are going to want to kill him, so by putting tough hide on him, it makes it so that he can't die that fast.
Better than not having it.
Yeah, he's a 3-1 with tough hide. He's Ballista.
Yep.
So, I mean...
It's Ballista with a stick instead of a bow.
It keeps Ballista alive a little longer.
Well, keeps the Shaft alive.
Phrasing. Continue.
Continue. Yeah.
He's pretty cool. I think he's a pretty solid captain. Moving right along to the next model that does something new.
Let's go with a robot. We'll talk about Mule.
So there's a Mule. His head looks like Master Chief. I'm just going to say that right now.
That does look like a wooden Master Chief.
I saw that earlier, before that card even came out. I'm like, looks like when I saw the model on the picture a week ago, I'm like, looks like Master Chief.
Yeah.
Totally looks like Master Chief.
So, hey, what if Hoist and Locust had a baby?
Had a sex
That would
baby?
be Mule.
Right.
Taking the best parts of Locust and Hoist. Mule is another one of those models that's deceptively fast. Mule's a 4-6, but actually more like an 8-10 because it's got a 50mm base. Great kick stats, just a 4.6, which is what I'm used to on my Robots. Mule is ridiculous on defensive stats with being a 3-2 with Tough Hide and Reanimate and a momentous knockdown on 1 and 16 hit points.
Yeah,
so
this is Locus's and Hoist's little baby boy.
You know, I don't think it's a good idea for the miners to be doing damage, but if the miners have to do damage, Mule can actually do some decent damage with that. Knock somebody down and then hopefully be getting to that momentous 2 double push on 3.
He definitely disables a lot of people. He's got 2 Guild Ball results. His Guild Ball is on 2, which is momentous.
Yep.
He's got an ability called Lockdown, which is triggered only via the playbook. Gives a target enemy model -4/-4 move and -1 tack.
So,
which essentially says you're going nowhere, Spider-Man.
Yep. So it seems like Mule gets in there, knocks down a model, throws it, which is his other character play. Target enemy model is placed within 2 inches of its current location. So he can knock a model down, place it up to like 4 inches away, 3 to 4 inches away, depending on the model, and lock it down so it can't move. So Mule is going to be out there to disable the other team's killers.
He's also a yanker.
Maybe they're
model.
strikers.
He also can yank a guy in pretty hard because he can place it within 2. So, you know, you stick the butt out the one side into the other side, and you've essentially moved a model, a good 4 inches of engage. So if it's guys on the other side of Mule, you can put them onto the other side and have them engage somebody. It's a much bigger push than just a 2 damage and a double push.
Yep. So it's got places, it's got pushes, it's got knockdowns, and it's really hard to kill with Tough Hide, Reanimate, 3-2, and a knockdown on 1.
It's definitely not the model you're going into. It's definitely not the guy you're charging.
Yeah, if you're choosing to attack Mule to do damage, I think you should reevaluate your choices in life. Some models can just do it.
Sure, like Boar or something.
Boar, yeah, no. Specifically, we don't know what Boar does yet.
Mule is the old
regular
Hoist,
Boar won't kill him.
Mule is the old Hoist problem where you didn't go, like, if your opponent went into him, you won the turn.
Yeah.
You can't kill the guy. But Mule seems pretty cool. I like what he does. And now, finally, because we're assholes and we did the tank last, here's the tank. It's named Fissure.
Fissure, the enabler of the team.
Fissure is a tank. It is a 50mm base. It's slow as all dirt. It's a
3-5, but...
But wait, there's more.
But wait, it actually is more like a 7-9 after if you include its secret tunnel. But wait, it's got another ability, Sinkhole, which is another place. So actually, Fissure's more like an 11-13 if you're buying Sinkhole.
Well, no, I mean, its places make it a 5-7, and then Sinkhole moves at another...
No, but its base is 2 inches. That's the thing. Because if you place within 2 inches and its base is 2 inches long, that's like 4.
Okay, cool. That's fair. So it's got Sinkhole, which is a 3-inch pulse. It can be triggered off the playbook or by paying 2. Enemy models within the pulse suffer a 3-inch push directly towards this model. Then this model may be placed within 2 inches. So it sucks everybody in and then goes away.
Yep.
So it can what it says is Sinkhole. Everybody falls down and gets pushed towards the tank. And then the tank appears someplace else.
Yeah. So it has what might be my favorite ability in Guild Ball now, Grinding Tracks, which works like... is it Battering Ram?
Well, it's similar to Battering Ram.
Yeah, except instead of pushing something 2 inches, it just knocks it down.
Right.
So if it pays for Grinding Tracks and it advances into somebody, anything it touches with its base is knocked down. Now, it's only once per advance, so you can't, like, walk into it, back up a millimeter, walk into it again, back up a millimeter. That won't work. But it's super cool, and when I do that, I just want to get a recording on my phone of that construction truck backing up with a beep, beep, beep.
I'm sure it'll happen.
As I knock everyone down. So
it's still pretty good at what it does. It's got a tackle on one. Most of these guys have tackles on one.
It's got a momentous tackle on one, and it's a speed... Like I said, it's like an 11-13 with a momentous tackle on one and a 4-6 kick. So this thing, like, strikes from the other side of the board.
So the important thing to note is that it's its defense is 2-3. So it's 2 defense, 3 armor. So you're losing a lot of dice when you hit it, but it's really easy to hit because it's a fucking tank.
Yep.
It's a girl riding it, but I'm assuming you're just clanging on the goddamn side of the thing.
Yeah, just like going into Anvil or whatever.
So
and then
the back side of the card looks pretty okay, except for the fact that it's got a legendary play. It's got its Guild Rule Sequel Tunnel, of course, but it's also got this other really interesting ability that kind of enables the entire team. It's called You're Coming With Me.
Yeah. So in this... The wording can seem confusing, but when Fissure activates, if it has a friendly model within its melee zone, when Fissure places for its secret tunnel, Fissure can drag the friendly model along with it. You place that friendly model somewhere in Fissure's melee zone after it's done. So... That's that could be up to a 6-inch placement on that friendly model. If you just go from its base, an inch to Fissure, 2 inches across Fissure's base. Wait, 2. Oh no, that's more like 8. Crud. Did my math wrong. But yeah, it's very far. Even further if that friendly model has a large base. If you're using You're Coming With Me on Mule... Mule's going like a 10-inch reposition right there. So there's that, which is going to enable so much.
Because that basically, for their other model, say, Shaft or Spade, that can strike really far, if they have the ball, you can reposition them to the other side of the board where there is no one, and then they can just go run and do their thing.
Yep.
But... on top of all of this,
yep,
we have its legendary play, which is called Tremor Mine.
Yep.
I'll just read this aloud just so people can get a full understanding of this. Choose a free ball within 10 inches of this model and remove it from the pitch. This model's controlling player resolves a goal kick.
So, they gave Fissure a legendary that does what Kill the Ball does, except it's a legendary and it doesn't cost influence. So that's a nice, like, when the opponent just sticks the ball way out in the middle of nowhere, you can legendary to get it back. So, without spending...
Is that a kick? Wait, is this a goal kick or a kick out?
That's what a goal kick is a kick out.
I thought it... So she doesn't just get a free goal? Because that'd be great.
Correct. Yeah,
I want a free goal, though.
No. It's a goal kick is that thing you do after your opponent scores on you, is you kick out from your goal, which I'm going to double check my facts on that. But that's why I said it's just like having Kill the Ball as exists on... Yeah, remove the target free ball from the pitch. This model's controlling player resolves a goal kick. Although Kill the Ball is only a 6-inch range, this is a 10-inch range.
Yeah.
But what that means is with no influence at all, Fissure can retrieve a ball that's 17 inches away.
Seems okay.
Seems good.
A ball that she's released because other people made everybody just push around, knock them down.
You can knock down the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legendary it back to your starting area, back to your area, kick it out.
And then you can just move some. And then you can just swing somebody over, a dozen inches to go get it.
Yep.
Seems really good. Her legendary play. It also is one of those things that Chris likes to do is just put the ball down behind him. Now Fissure can say, "Nah, it's over here now."
Yeah.
That's your trick against my stupid kickoff pressure. Is
that's
just
my
drop
trick
the
against
ball.
certain kickoff pressure. That's my trick against Obulus, because Obulus can't make you puppet bastard the ball away if it's not on you.
So that's
very calculated risk when to put the ball on the pitch instead of on a player.
It's pretty interesting what these guys can do.
Miners are going out of their way to make it very hard to find a safe place to put the ball. Like when your enemy, when your opponent butcher player hides the ball all the way in the corner, or as close to the corner as they can, and still generate momentum. Because Fissure has ways to get it back. If Fissure has the movement to get around, like I said, Fissure is effectively an 11-13 if you're buying that second placement, and 11-13 plus the legendary play means you can recover a ball from 21 to 23 inches away. So there's like nowhere that's safe to hide the ball. Models that have already been shown to us, like Fuse, also has an ability to recover balls from very far away. Since let's see here, that model is a 5-7, but really more like an 8-10. But once you factor in Fuse is like Fuse can kick a ball that's up to 6 inches away, so that's recovering a ball that's 14 to 16 inches away. But also, if Fuse paid to use the character play to put Fuse in base contact with an enemy model, then you're talking a movement of like 12 or 13 or 14, 15, depending on how much influence you spent to get around. And once you add the 6 inches of extra movement on top of that, you're talking another way to recover a ball that's almost 20 inches away from Fuse. So it's really hard. And we can't forget that Salvo also has an ability like that, right? Salvo
has tether ball.
Yeah, Salvo can tether ball and just shoot people to go further.
You really just can't. You really just can't put the balls on the ground. The miners are going to get the ball.
Yep.
Seems great. The other 3 models have already been released. If you have Guild Ball Manager, they are there. We don't need to read the stats off for them. We already know, and they've already released articles, so I'm assuming most people have probably seen these. Just quickly, Fuse, he can do a lot of the replacement things.
Yep.
He's got clear and under the lines, which allow him to move people around. He's got remote detonation, which is like Locust's ability, but he doesn't have to pay for it.
Doesn't have to pay to do it.
Come on, Locust buffs.
Yeah, come on, Locust
buffs. That's all I'm looking for. That's really what I'm looking for.
Fuse's defense 6 against character plays.
Seems all right.
Get wrecked, Corsair. Just get wrecked.
I don't like Corsair, so it's fine. Spade is great for a striker. Like, she's got all the tools that she actually needs to get around. She's got a 2-inch place effect, which is essentially better than Shadow-like. She's got another 2-inch place effect, which for Diggy Hole, which is, again, great. Mm-hmm. So before she even does anything, she can relocate herself. She uses 2 place effects.
Yeah. She's a 4-6, but without paying anything, she's effectively a 7-9 with the first reposition. So jogging up to, with the 2-inch place and the jog, that's like a 7. If you sprint, it's like a 9. If you buy another Diggy Hole, she's like a 10-12. And she's got 2-inch melee.
Yeah, she's got everything you need. She's a 3/8 kick. She's got close control. So if she's sprinting away from somebody, or if she's going through somebody, they can't even strip the ball from her. So it's not. She's deceptively fast. She's your primary or secondary striker, depending on what Shaft's doing.
And you also have to wonder, when is she ever taking a parting strike? Because she can just place. But if she has to, it's fine. I don't think she's the best striker in the game, but she might be the second best.
She's really good. She's really good at what she does.
She has all of the abilities that I think are important on a striker to be a good striker. Important things for a striker are 2-inch melee, buyable dodge, close control.
She has all 3
and
of
a
those.
momentous tackle on 1.
She has all 3.
She has all 4 of those.
All 4 things.
Better than those, because it's not a buyable dodge, it's a buyable place, which is further than most buyable dodges and better in like almost every circumstance. So, normally good strikers have 3 of those 4 things. She's got all 4 of them. So it's like you counterattack her. What are you doing to prevent her from taking the ball and just jamming it right away? If she just can't go into a model that's holding the ball that has 2-inch melee and a knockdown on one, or a easy to achieve knockdown. Like anything else, she's just stripping the ball and they can't do anything about it because they tackle back. I guess if they've got 2-inch melee and ball's gone, I think who's the only one with that? That'd be Grayscales.
Pretty much.
So
there's a couple of models with balls gone, but usually they don't have 2-inch.
No, usually they don't have 2-inch melee. So it's super hard to protect the ball from her.
Yep. And the last but not least, their mascot is a mole.
Oh, Digger.
Digger is a little mole with diggy claws and goggles, and he's got the ability called Diggy Hole, and I wanted to call it Diggy Mole. But it's fine because...
Instead, you got another pun.
Instead, we got other puns because on the back of its card, it's got Secret Tunnel, Close Control on a mascot. The mascot itself can...
Tentacles has close control. It's not unprecedented.
But it's different.
It's different.
And
it's
he's
good.
On top of the fact that he's got a momentous tackle on one, and he can then just disengage and run away.
Yep.
If you don't want your opponent to have the ball, they won't take it. Because you can just put it on Digger, and he just runs away.
Yep.
Also, he's got an ability called Stop, Drop, and Mole.
Stop, Drop, and Mole. It's like Fixer, but better.
It is, because it's once per turn during this model's activation. Target-friendly model within 6 inches may remove all conditions it's suffering. So, is it suffering disease, fire, knockdown, all the garbage? Then it's fine.
We can get rid of it for free.
Because it's a mole, apparently.
Yep.
The mole says you're better.
The mole's hardy. I'd also like to point out that Digger was the name of a cartoon mole from an old cartoon called The Shirt Tales, and he's super adorable.
You know what? You've mentioned that, and if any of the people who have ever seen that know about it, that's fantastic.
That was a long time ago.
What cartoon was it from?
The Shirt Tales.
What's that?
It's a cartoon. This is a circular
before
discussion.
my time, and I'm 34 years old.
Yeah. It might have even been like a British cartoon.
I mean, it's probably why it was named Digger then, because it's a British company.
Mostly just cute cartoon animals, anthropomorphized, walking around in shirts.
That ran 82 to 84.
There we go.
Yeah, I was not born when it was around.
I remember watching it. Like, you said Shirt Tales, and I kind of remember that. Yeah. And I looked it up, and I saw a picture, and I don't want to go to YouTube.
It was one of those cartoon series that at one point in my life, like 4 years ago,
I remember those.
Went out of my way.
I never watched it, but I saw it.
I went out of my way to find out what it was called because I was like, there was this cartoon with a mole named Digger, and I don't know what it was called.
Thank you, Google.
Thank you, Google, and thank you, Steamforge, for giving me warm fuzzies.
Well, they love puns and bringing up the past, so they're good at that. So, all in all, that's all of the players. They do have Colossus and Salvo playing down. Yeah. They do not have Secret Tunnel.
Nope.
However, they don't need it.
Colossus and Salvo are the best two models in Engineers. So
if you really don't want to give Secret Tunnel to fucking Salvo, or Colossus.
Or Colossus.
Yeah, let's give Colossus Secret Tunnel. Like as I said before, if Colossus is digging a tunnel, it's not secret. It's a secret to everybody because how do you ignore a hole that big?
I guess the same thing with Fissure. But...
I mean, can you just wait to be playing them? Colossus and Fissure on the same team, just going around and just wrecking.
So
to be good,
what
you have a lot. You can play 3 50mm bases. I think.
Yeah, and that's a can.
That's a lot of beef.
It is.
Look at all this beef.
So, coming into today, my statement had been, well, for the next few months, I'm playing Captain Salvo mascot Colossus and just an engineer or minor team around them. Because they're just so good for engineers. I don't know that they're always going into my minors lineups because now that I look at them, the minors just have this constructed shtick to them. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure where Colossus fits that. Maybe
there's a lot you could do with it. I could see replacing Colossus for Mule. So you can take Mule out for Colossus because they push people around pretty well.
My pick would be remove Mule and put in Salvo. Obviously, depends on what my opponent's playing, but Salvo seems to fit more in with dislodge ball, grab ball, shoot ball than Mule does. Whereas Mule is doing some important things of like keying on somebody and locking them down. So if you're playing into a team that's got like a superstar striker or captain that you just don't want messing with your team, you're like, you are slow and far from me and knocked down and nobody likes you and you smell. Just get away. That seems like that's what Mule is going to do.
Something else I noticed about all these models, if you don't count Salvo, no one on the team has a heroic play.
No.
They do not spend momentum on anything.
Holy shit, Salvo can be affected by Fissure's thing.
Yeah.
So Salvo's now moving an extra 8 inches.
Salvo goes really far.
Salvo goes so far. And I think that if I have to kick off, Salvo might be my kick model.
Yeah, sure.
Because the difficulty with all of your movement being entailed in placements at the beginning of your activation is if you have to kick off, your model doesn't actually activate. It just jogs and makes a kick. So they're only jogging... Pure miners are only jogging between 3 and 5 inches from your
not far.
Not very far. So
you can still kick off with Colossus or Salvo, and
you can still kick off with Colossus and Salvo. And when I play my engineers, Salvo usually is the kickoff model because if I kick well, he can just pick it right back up, kick it to the friends. It's all good. So. Maybe there'll be a lot to say on who to take, whether you're kicking or receiving, which is the way the game should be played. So
well, guess what? They're at the store now, and we play tomorrow. You can play them tomorrow.
I can have them in my paws.
Depending on how many people are coming, there could be 3 teams of miners being played. How do you feel about playing against real dirty people tomorrow, Jess?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you play dirty people anyways.
I play drunks.
Yeah,
usually. Which
is, again, for people who don't know, is really fucking ironic because Jesse's straight edge.
Yes.
Straight edge men play drunkards.
They kind of play themselves. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
They're like
push forward.
Yeah, exactly. They are baby's first guild ball team, pretty much.
So our other friend, who's a
recovering alcoholic,
also plays Brewers.
Who?
Josh.
Oh, right, yeah. That's also true. I forgot about that. But yeah, no, it's really funny that those... Wow, that's fucked up. So, in fucked up news, you learned that today, viewers. But yeah,
Ain't nobody perfect.
But yeah, we have all those at the store, so definitely people can be playing them. And guess what? They're all put together, so you don't have to do anything to them. So I can just put them on the table.
Yep.
Oh, are they not?
No.
You're shaking your head.
The resin.
The resin. No, I don't want to glue anything.
Wash and glue.
Yeah.
But I just want to put them on the table.
I understand. So do I.
I don't want to glue anything. I got no time in the afternoon.
Get good, scrub.
What do you mean get good? I don't get off work at 3 in the afternoon like you.
It's get good at scrubbing the models so they stick together.
Just putting the fucking bases down with legs, and
you give them a get good scrub so they don't fall apart when they
glue legs to base. That's what I'm playing. What is that? It's a thing. I don't know. Go. We're just gonna move stuff.
So.
I don't fuck. That's shitty. I don't want to put shit together.
No, these are going to give some life to my play style. I've been enjoying my engineers, but to paraphrase a famous author, a new and glorious dawn awaits.
Well, they definitely breathe a little bit of life into engineers who have definitely seen a fall from grace from last season.
Yes, although even though I had been a little down on engineers, people are producing. The West Coast Championship, the West Coast USA Championship was won by an engineer player. There was a big tournament in Britain where 2 of the best players in Britain paired off, and I think the winner was Charles Nurser. It might have been the other guy, but the finals was engineers on engineers.
So what you're saying is I know nothing, and engineers are still good?
No, what I'm saying is that good people win with whatever team they're playing. So
it's almost like this is a game of skill and not just a game of stupid dice rolls.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so while some... the game can be described much more easily in like, or not more easily, but much better described in like learning curves and matchups than anything else. And I just threw a pen because I got so excited over here.
You're really excited. I can tell. Well, this is your minor guild.
He's not Steve Volk excited.
No.
Just don't check under the table.
No one can. Dude, it's fine.
It's already tilting to one side. It's fine.
That's lifted up. No, nobody can get Steve Volk excited. That man is animated like an animatronic. The guy, yeah, he talks with his hands. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I do too. It just made me throw a pen across the room when I wasn't.
Yeah. So. Okay. Anyways, all right. Miners. Cool story?
Cool story.
I think they're a cool story.
Cool story.
So they're doing pretty well. Yeah, time's great. We're good.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna be cool. I think people are gonna like them. I think painting them is gonna be easy because they're just dirty on dirty rags.
All the Devlin mud.
Yeah, fuck. I would like to paint gray on red on gray on metal on brown wash. Go done. Okay, whatever. Next. There's not a lot of whatever there.
I'm just going to put them in the same color scheme as my engineers.
Well, your engineer color scheme is almost the same as this.
Yeah, my engineer color scheme is not far from the studio color scheme. I picked a bit brighter, and I went with gold and wine, like the Cavaliers.
Yep.
So I've got my Cleveland Engineers and soon to be my Cleveland Salt Miners.
Salt mine bases.
It is one of the largest exports from our region.
It seriously is. We have a giant goddamn salt mine under
No wonder we're so angry. We're always salty.
Get out of my house.
You are sitting in an ancient sea right now.
I mean, we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a giant river valley.
Yep.
So, but anyways, yeah, that's the miners. That's the miners, ladies and gentlemen. We weren't going to talk about the cooks because they're not out. We don't have the cards for them, so we can't talk about shit really. So when we get those cards, whenever those are coming, maybe March 1st, maybe March 15th. Nobody knows. So we'll talk about that when it happens. But there was still plenty to go through today since we got Dumb Miners cards. Thank you, whoever delivered them today instead of tomorrow, because we would have not had much to go on today otherwise.
Much more to talk about.
So that's pretty much everything. Chris, when's our next event?
It'll be a miners event. Don't know when. We'll pick it as soon as I get out a laptop and look at a calendar.
Cool. I can't do it March 9th because I'll be out of town on that Saturday. And I can't do it on the last weekend of the month because we all have Adepticon. So don't do it those other. Do it the other weeks. Don't do it those.
I'll pick a time. It'll be fun, and I'll post it online so all of our listeners who live in the region can come to the event.
Yeah, we got some cool limited edition models, and we got some leftovers from some other stuff, I believe.
From some other things.
So
I'll even be using some of my SteamCon swag as gift door prizes and whatnot. Because what am I going to do with it?
Cool. For anybody who cares or is in the area, we play at Recess Games every Thursday night. Our events are usually on the weekends. Follow our Facebook page. We're at Guild Ball at Recess Games is the Facebook page. If we're also going to be having an event, we'll share it out into the normal Gubs universe. Pretty accessible by freeway, so if you can come by. We'd love to see some new people. Last tournament we had a good amount of people.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing some new people come down. I saw a bunch of people posting stuff up in Michigan that looks like they're either relatively new or just new to posting stuff. So hopefully if we have some Michigan people up there, we can have them maybe drive down. Because if we can go up, they can go down. So maybe we can start exchanging some things.
That'd be great.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Just start being a multi-meta hub here between Pittsburgh, Fort Wayne, Ann Arbor, Columbus.
It's not exceedingly far, but it's definitely doable if you want to.
It's not easy, but enthused individuals will get there.
Yeah. There's not a shortage of games in the Midwest. As everyone who lives in the Midwest knows, it's all you can do half the year because it's fucking cold. So that's everything on my list of things to talk about. Jesse, you got anything else over there?
I've got nothing.
Okay. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in. This has been our podcast of February, the 1st of 2019. As I posted the other day, we are going to be doing one a month. January is a little slow, plus some work fiascos. Some we can get into, some that are dumb, some that I don't care about. So definitely going back into that. When we get some notice on the errata couple days, we'll probably compile some notes, get some games in, try to figure out what sucks and what doesn't. We'll probably still be wrong, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. So until then, I'm Dave.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
You can find the Pusher Pass podcast at pusherpass.wordpress.com, Instagram.com/pusherpass, Facebook.com/pusherpass, or on Twitter @pusherpass. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.